Oh, Jesus Christ. I really don't want to have to do this, but unfortunately, I have to review Seed of Chucky. Seed of Chucky is the fifth film in the Child's Play series. This one is actually written and directed by Don Mancini, who co-wrote the first one and wrote all the sequels. Like, he wrote Child's Play 2, Child's Play 3, Bride of Chucky, and he wrote and directed this one. Oh, Christ. Now, I liked Bride of Chucky. I actually really enjoyed Bride of Chucky, but this movie. Now, I actually don't own the movie on DVD, but I have seen the movie recently, and I printed out I printed out the poster just to give kind of a visual representation of it, and this is what I think of the movie. Yep, that's what I think of Seed of Chucky. Seed of Chucky, I'm sorry, is a piece of crap as far as I'm concerned. Like, I liked Bride of Chucky. Like, I thought the humor in Bride of Chucky worked very well, but in this movie, they just pushed the humor way over the top, and honestly, it's just ridiculous. Like, I thought the humor in Bride of Chucky was used well, and I thought it worked well, and I thought it was actually kind of clever, but the humor in this is just retarded. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. It's retarded. I mean, and also, even though Bride of Chucky had a very different tone than the first three Child's Play movies did, I could still at least buy that Bride of Chucky is set in the same universe as the first three movies. Like, it still felt like a Child's Play movie. Like, I could still at least buy that it's picking up where Child's Play 3 left off. This movie doesn't even feel like it's in the same universe. Like, I mean, the movie's just really stupid. Like, really all this movie is really a dumb comedy that happens to have Chucky and Tiffany in it. That's it. The plot of Seed of Chucky is it's supposed to be set sometime after the events of Bride of Chucky. Now, at the end of Bride of Chucky, Tiffany ended up giving birth to this doll creature baby because there was a scene in Bride of Chucky where Chucky and Tiffany actually had sex. And if that sounds wrong on so many levels, that's only because it is. But at the end of the movie, after Chucky and Tiffany were killed, Tiffany ended up giving birth to this little doll creature baby thing, and basically that opened the door for this movie. And from before this movie came out, I always assumed that that little doll creature baby that was born at the end of Seed of Chucky was going to end up being the villain in this movie, but instead that creature that's born at the end of Bride of Chucky ends up being basically the protagonist of this movie. Like, he's a good guy, no pun intended. And what happens is, you find out that that doll creature baby, he's now grown up a little bit, and he's been raised by this, like, ventriloquist who's using him as, like, his dummy, and he uses him for, like, a comedy act or something, but he treats him like shit. And what happens is the doll creature, he runs away from him, and he's looking for who his real parents are, and it turns out that Hollywood is now making a horror film about Chucky and Tiffany. Like, they're making a horror film based on the events that happened in Bride of Chucky, and, what happens is, long story short, Glen ends up. That's what the doll creature's name is, by the way. His name is Glen, and Glen ends up in Hollywood on the set of this movie that they're making about Chucky and Tiffany, who, as it turns out, are his parents, and it turns out he actually has the Heart of Damballa, which is the amulet from the previous film that Chucky and Tiffany tried using to transfer their souls into human bodies, but, he reads something off the back of it, and essentially brings back Chucky and Tiffany from hell, and now they realized that they had a son, and of course, in the movie, they get into this really stupid debate whether Glen is really a boy or a girl, because you find out he has no dick, and in the movie, there's this whole thing that he has split personality, and his alternate personality is a female personality called Glenda. It's just a really stupid movie, but what happens is, in the movie, Jennifer Tilly, who played Tiffany in the previous film, and she plays the voice of Tiffany, Jennifer Tilly actually plays herself in the movie, because it turns out that, she's gonna be in this movie that they're making about Chucky and Tiffany, so she plays herself in the movie, and also, the rapper Redman, or whatever his name is, he's also in the movie playing himself, and long story short, it turns out that Tiffany now wants to transfer her soul into Jennifer Tilly's body, and then Chucky's planning on transferring his soul into, somebody that Jennifer Tilly might know, and then they get this plan that they're gonna somehow get Jennifer Tilly pregnant, and so she can give birth to a human baby, and then they'll transfer Glen's soul into the human baby, and I don't know. It's what happens is, and I shit you not, there's a scene in the movie where Chucky actually masturbates, and and they try putting his semen in Jennifer Tilly's body, and because Chucky is already a supernatural being, it causes her to get pregnant really, really quick. I don't know, I can't even explain the plot line in this movie. It's just so stupid. It seems like Don Mancini is almost trying to poke fun at Hollywood, because the movie's set in Hollywood, and you have Jennifer Tilly playing herself, and there's a part in the movie where, Tiffany talks about Jennifer Tilly, and she's like, wow, she's a complete slut. So there is kind of self-aware humor, kind of poking fun at Hollywood. It seems like that's what Don Mancini is trying to go for, but it doesn't work that well in the movie. I mean, I will admit, there are a few parts in the movie that caused me to chuckle a little bit, but that's about it. It's pretty much a really, really bad movie. I will say, there is a cameo from John Waters. Well, it's not really a cameo. John Waters has a small role as this photographer, and I will say I actually thought his role in the movie was pretty funny, but that's about it. And then you get into this really stupid stuff where Glen really doesn't want Chucky and Tiffany to kill, and and Tiffany starts listening to Glen. I don't know, it's just a bad movie. It really is. It really makes me wonder what the hell Don Mancini was thinking, because this is the same guy who pretty much created the whole series, and this is the direction that he decided to take the series in. I mean, yeah, this is definitely my least favorite Child's Play movie. People say people say Bride of Chucky and Child's Play 3 are bad. No, this movie is bad as far as I'm concerned. I mean, yeah. I clearly established that I don't really care for this movie. I mean, if you like the film, that's fine, but yeah, this movie is pretty bad. So, yeah, that's my review on Seed of Chucky, and